Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA season is still very far away, but there is no reason right now that we can't look at the Toronto Raptors schedule and look at games that we deem to be exciting, matchups that we're looking forward to, and we could just go through a whole bunch of things. But I am already getting excited because September is almost here. People have to report in September. You got to start getting really serious as training camp is at the end of the month. But before all of that, I want to get started by going into this NBA schedule for the Toronto Raptors and get you, not just me, but you excited about some of the games that we are going to be seeing this season. Key games, how many games that will be on a national broadcast, and we can discuss as we go forward. So I just want to jump right into this thing, and I don't want this to be a long show and drawn out, but I do have some things that I want to discuss, and I'll get the schedule up on the screen for you so you guys can see it for yourself if you haven't already seen it. But I will say this right before we get started. I am very excited for this season. I'm very excited for this season because I feel like this season is going to be one of the most exciting seasons in the history of the NBA. I really do. I think there are going to be a lot of good teams, and even some of the bad teams are going to still be fun to watch. I think it was a really nice draft. Some of the pieces that we're going to be looking at, young pieces, some of these guys that we're going to be seeing on Washington and Utah and Chicago and a bunch of other teams as well are just going to be exciting. Brooklyn, exciting to watch. All right. Oklahoma City, it's going to be exciting. And trust me, damn it, I am here for it. I am here for it. There are going to be a lot of teams that you're going to be looking at and saying, damn, I didn't think this team was going to be that good this season. I wasn't expecting that from them. And then maybe there's going to be some teams that you're going to be pretty disappointed with as well. But overall, I think this is just going to be a fun season, and it's going to be competitive. And, with the rule changes as well, not being one of those teams who is going to perpetually tank and be at the bottom of the standings, you don't want to be in that position this year. And so the competition is going to be there. The parity is going to be there. And we've seen that over the years, right? We have seen the parity get better and better and better in the NBA. And that's what they are trying to do. I mean, coming into a season where you already know who the top two teams are going to be every single year is absolutely ridiculous. And it's boring and it's not good for ratings. And so, with that being said, the NBA has done a good job implementing different things to make sure, or at least try to make sure, that we're seeing multiple different teams playing at the same level instead of seeing 3 or 4 teams up here and then the rest of the league all the way down here. We ain't trying to see that. We've had 8 or 9 different NBA championships consecutively. So that is fun to see. And we're hoping that we do continue to see that. So with that being said, we can just jump right into this bad boy. Okay, let's check this out. Let me share my screen with you here and see what we're looking at here. All right, let's get into this. Now, should we bother talking about preseason? I don't think we should. But we will see the Knicks twice, Detroit, whatever. Okay, don't really care about that. But the first thing that we're going to look at is opening night, October 21st against the Chicago Bulls at home. That obviously is going to be an exciting game to see, is it not? You're opening the season. You're going to have Kawhi Leonard, so we think, most likely. Everything that I'm talking about today has to do with Kawhi Leonard being in the lineup. We're assuming he's going to be on the team. I'm pretty sure he will be on the team. We don't know what the consequences will be of the Clippers and Bomber and all that crap. But as of right now, damn it, even though it's not set in stone, Kawhi Leonard will be on the Raptors. This thing will go through. The Chicago Bulls are the team that I was looking at that I'm pretty interested in as well. I think they're going to be a fun team to watch. And for the first time to me, the Chicago Bulls are actually going in the right direction. Yes, you heard me correctly. The Chicago Bulls are actually going in the right direction. I'm looking at the depth chart right now, right? We're looking at, and can you guys see this as well? I think you guys can see this as well. Let me just make sure you guys can see this. Yes, you're looking at it. Okay. Josh Giddey, Norman Powell, Matas Buzelli. Sorry if I messed that up, Matas. Caleb Wilson looks like he's going to be a stud from what we saw in Summer League. Nick Claxton, finally, the Chicago Bulls look like they're actually going to be able to do something. And by that, I'm not even saying making the playoffs. I'm just saying going in the right damn direction for once. I don't know what they've been doing these last few years, but it has looked like an absolute disaster. So I am definitely looking forward to seeing opening night with the Raptors playing against the Chicago Bulls. And if everybody's healthy and in that lineup, that should be a W for the Raptors. After that, 2 days later, I'm also excited to see the Washington Wizards, because the Wizards are, and listen, I wouldn't say they're an up and coming team, but they've completely revamped their team. And they're going to be, I think, fun to watch as well. If you look at the depth chart for them as well, I mean, Trae Young, Debonsa, Alex Sarr, Anthony Davis, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, Bub Carrington is nice as well. DeAndre Ayton, I mean, they're going to be fun to watch. And I do think that's going to be a good matchup. And people are going to have their eye on the Washington Wizards. 100%. They're going to have their eye on the Washington Wizards because nobody really knows what they're going to be. We know they have new pieces, right? You got the number one pick in the draft. He looks like he's going to be really good. Trae Young is a phenomenal player. He's going to be fun to watch because what he can do from an offensive standpoint and how he distributes the ball, it can be pretty fun, pretty damn fun. Minnesota, we can get into, obviously. These two games are going to be interesting as well. A back-to-back with Orlando at home. And I'm not really sure what to make of Orlando right now. I do think they'll be a pretty decent team. How good? I don't know. I don't know how good they're going to be. But it will be fun to watch them in a back-to-back. I'm assuming they're going to be hovering around being a playoff team. The East is going to be much better this season. And so because of that, I'm really looking forward to that. And Orlando is going to be one of those teams that are definitely going to be in the mix. So that should be fun as well. If we're moving forward now to November, yes, we will see the Lakers. The Raptors will be on an early road trip here, and the Lakers will be fun. But really, this game here, right, against the Clippers in LA, that's the one that we have to keep our eye on, because I wonder how the crowd is going to be when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, right? Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick on the other side. I'm interested to seeing if, I have the feeling here that Grady Dick was not necessarily too fond of the Raptors when he left, or when he was traded, I should say. I don't think he was happy about the way things turned out in the end for him and not really getting any burn and any run last season, which, I can understand it, right? If you're Darko Rajakovic, you have a job to do. Damn it, if a player can't defend and you're trying to win games, it's going to be tough. So I completely understand that. But I wonder if there's going to be any bad blood there. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he has beef with anyone. I ain't going that far. I'm just wondering, like I mentioned, if there's going to be any bad blood there. That's all I'm saying. But going back, so this Clippers game is going to be interesting. And yes, Denver, that's going to be a nice game to watch as well. Milwaukee, Memphis. But these two games here, the 11th and the 12th of November, the back-to-back with Boston, obviously. I'm always interested to see when the Raptors play against Boston. Because Boston to me is always like a team that's a litmus test to a certain degree. Boston's always going to bring it. Their team is going to be good. They're going to be well coached, and their crowd is ruckus, right? And that's going to be a home game, but regardless, I'm talking about anytime you play against the Boston Celtics, it always ends up being a big test for the Raptors. So I am interested in seeing that game against the Boston Celtics. But really, what we're talking about here, the Philadelphia 76ers on November 12th, that's going to be huge for the Raptors. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. Of course, we're thinking about Maxey and Jaylen Brown and Embiid, LeBron. Like this is what it's about. This is what we want to see. This is going to be a rough stretch of games here, and that's going to be on the road in Philly. And the crowd in Philly is always crazy. You know that. You got to give it up for those fans. Those fans in Philly are absolutely nuts. So that's a game that we want to see. We want to see how we stack up against the best teams in the Eastern Conference. And so you get a Boston, then you get a Philly, and then you got a home back-to-back against the New York Knicks. You got a back-to-back against the New York Knicks. That is an important one. That's really, really important. I mean, it's a massive tactical chess match at this point against the New York Knicks. And it is important because last year when it came to the New York Knicks, we got our ass kicked. I mean, it was not pretty whatsoever. It was downright bad. And so now when you got the defending champions back to back, and we all know these guys are still going to be a pretty damn good team. They're going to be a fantastic team. Forget about damn good. They're going to be a fantastic team. I feel like because so much has happened in the Eastern Conference and how these teams have gotten better, like we're thinking a lot about, the Washington Wizards, and we're talking about the Indiana Pacers and what the 76ers are going to look like, what the new Boston Celtics are going to look like. And we know Cleveland's going to be good, and Atlanta, what are they going to be doing? All that stuff. We're talking about the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard, and we're completely just dismissing the NBA champion New York Knicks. One thing about the New York Knicks that we have to admit, right? And we talk about this all the time. It's not even necessarily about X's and O's for the New York Knicks, at least in my opinion, right? When it comes to them, they just outwork you. They outplay you, out-hustle you, well coached. Crowd is absolutely crazy, but they're a good road team as well. They just outplay you and out-hustle you. They're one of those teams. And it's going to be very interesting to see the Raptors go up against the New York Knicks in a back-to-back early in or midway through November. We talked about Washington already. Detroit, yeah, okay, fine. We still don't even know what the hell is going on with their big man. Milwaukee, don't really care about the Bucks that much to get that win. Same thing against the Brooklyn Nets. I am interested in seeing Brooklyn just because I think they're going to be a fun team. And can we go to the depth chart with Brooklyn? I think anytime we play Brooklyn this season, we should beat Brooklyn. But I do think it's going to be fun to watch them. Obviously, they're in the Atlantic Division, so we will be seeing them a bunch. But if we go to the depth chart for Brooklyn, I think they'll be nice. Mikal Brown Jr., who I really like, I think he's going to be really good. Igor Demon, Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle, Daron Sharp. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the Brooklyn Nets are going to be like anything fantastic out here, but they're going to be a lot better than last season. And I do think that they're going to be one of those teams that end up surprising a few teams if you don't come ready to play. I think they're one of those teams like Julius Randle and Porter Jr. can really play, and they're going to have the team on their back. I think it's going to be interesting watching them. Even though I don't think, clearly they're going to do anything significant, but I do think they'll be fun to watch. If we go into December, this is going to be an interesting stretch at the beginning. So Houston, San Antonio, and Oklahoma City. That one's going to be rough. You're going to have to come to play here. 100%. Houston, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Now, obviously, the San Antonio Spurs, right, going to the NBA Finals. Wemby, right? Wemby is always the guy that you want to see. You want to see how his game develops. He's fun to watch. Just an animal. De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Vassell, Tobias Harris is going to be there now, which should be fun to watch. Victor Wembanyama, obviously, Champagnie, Carter Bryant, Dylan Harper. Their team is going to be nice. Their team is going to be really nice. I think they're going to be pretty good. Terrace Reed Jr., their draft pick, I think is going to be interesting to see him and how he's implemented into that lineup. Jaden Quaintance as well. That's interesting. That's interesting because we were looking at some of these guys in the draft, and we were curious about, where they would go and potentially how they would look depending on what team they went to and that kind of stuff. So that'll be interesting seeing the San Antonio Spurs. Oklahoma City is another team that we're always interested in seeing how we match up against the one Oklahoma City. Their team with everyone healthy is as dangerous as it's been these last few seasons, right? But not just that with Oklahoma City. We know that they lost some players this year to the Atlanta Hawks. And that's interesting because some of the players that they brought in as well as rookies, I think are some pretty interesting guys, right? Like we see that the depth chart here. But when you look at Ade Mara, who I think is interesting, Bennett Sturts is another interesting pick there as well. These guys were both talked about. And I do think they're going to be it's going to be an interesting season for the Oklahoma City Thunder, as long as Jalen Williams is healthy. They'll be even fun to watch without him, but obviously you want to see him in the lineup. He's only an all-star and one of the best two-way players in basketball. So clearly you want to see him play. Charlotte is another team that's going to be interesting. We talked about San Antonio already, but this is the one lone visit. You'll see San Antonio at Scotiabank Arena on December 16th, which is going to be cool. And then you're going to see Golden State. You always want to see Golden State because Steph Curry will be in the building. One lone visit December 18th and the one lone visit for the Houston Rockets as well. So pay attention to that. Now, Washington, Memphis, don't really care about them at the end of December. Orlando as well. The Pelicans, listen, I can't believe I'm going to bring this up, but I am going to bring this up. Do you know I'm still mad about what happened to the Raptors in New Orleans last season? I'm dead ass serious right now. Do you remember how they got punked in New Orleans? I do remember that. And I still want revenge. I don't care. I still want revenge about that. Oh, trust me. We'll bring it up when the time comes. We'll bring it up when the time comes. But damn it, I remembered that. And I think I actually lost my mind in one of those podcasts when I was talking about it. But yes, I do remember that. And I still want revenge. The Washington Wizards again. How many times have we already seen these guys? How many times are we playing these guys? Anyway, let's get into the new year here. The Clippers on the first at home. The Brandon Ingram revenge game. Is that what this is going to be? The Grady Dick revenge game? I am very interested in watching that come New Year's Day, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I definitely want to see that. LA as well. LA is always interesting. Obviously, they won't be talked about as much because they don't have LeBron. But damn it, you still got Luka Doncic. You still got a pretty nice roster, ladies and gentlemen. That is the truth. And we can go over it for just a second. But the Los Angeles Lakers, you know what? I'm actually pretty hyped for the Lakers this year. I'm very happy they don't have LeBron James on their team anymore. I feel like this is a new beginning for the Lakers. They can actually move forward and try to do something new. The depth chart, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Quentin Grimes, LaRavia, I know who he is, but I can't pronounce his name probably. Sorry about that. Walker Kessler, Kevon Looney, Mamo Kelishvili, Cameron Carr, Sexton. I like some of the guys on this team. I like some of the guys here. Dalton Connect is still here. Bronny James. Don't know why I'm going that far into the lineup, but Doncic, Reeves, Grimes, Kessler, Mamu Kelishvili, Colin Sexton, Cameron Carr is a rookie. Well, he'll be interesting to watch as well. Vanderbilt still there. I think they have a decent team. I don't know how they're going to stack up in the Western Conference because the Western Conference looks like they're going to be a damn good conference as well. Like I mentioned, both conferences to me are going to be pretty good. But yeah, I do have some excitement for seeing the Lakers, especially the way that they beat us last year at home. That was rough. But listen, I'm going to go here. January 5th. Let's look out for that one. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's watch out for this one. This is going to be interesting to see how we stack up against them. Hopefully both teams are healthy, but I believe this will be the first time we go up against the Cavaliers since we lost against them in that 7-game series this past season in the first round of the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see how they stack up against each other there. I do want to see that. If you didn't already hear today, the Cleveland Cavaliers did re-sign James Harden to a 3-year, $97 million deal. A $97 million deal, I believe, for James Harden. It is a 3-year extension. I don't know if there's any player opt-outs or anything like that. But I did see that Shams did report that earlier today. So just pointing that out there for you. Also, what else do we have here? Minnesota, that's always interesting. Utah, Philly again here on January 10th. Mark your calendar there. Whenever you get the chance to beat the hell out of LeBron James, we definitely have to try to do that for sure. Detroit. So you get a decent stretch here of some pretty good games. When you're looking at the Lakers, Cleveland, Minnesota, Philly, Detroit, Phoenix, Miami, right? Like that's a good stretch of games right there. Then you got Chicago on a home and home or a home and away back-to-back, excuse me. You got the Knicks, Brooklyn. So Boston, Dallas, Cleveland. Again, we're going to see in the month of January, Boston. All right, so that's a decent month right there. And then we go over to February. We see Dallas on the road. Always interested in seeing the New York Knicks, especially on the road, because I love watching games in Madison Square Garden, whether it be the Raptors or any other team. Milwaukee. Keep your eye on Milwaukee as well, not because of a matchup thing, just to see what they do with their roster and if any moves are going to be made there. Keep your eye on that. Charlotte, I am interested in seeing Charlotte. Let's look at their roster for a second, right? I like the direction that Charlotte's going in, and I like some of their players as well. I'm a big fan of Kobe White. Love Kobe White. Love Cotton Knippel. Like Brandon Miller. You get Naz Reid. And then you draft Steinbach as well. So that's interesting. Dennis Schroeder ends up there, right? Grayson Allen, which I like a lot. Royce O'Neal. I really like Diabate. I think he's tough. Good physical player. I like their team. Kalkbrenner is there. Still got Grant Williams. They got an interesting team. And I want to see what happens with Charlotte. Like, when is Charlotte going to make the playoffs? Damn it. When? I do like the direction they're going in anyway. A back-to-back. So this is going to be a nice stretch here, right? So we're in February. Where the heck is where's the All-Star game break? Anyway. Back-to-back with Cleveland. You get Boston, Atlanta, Charlotte. That's going to be a tough stretch. Here's your break, it looks like. And then you get Atlanta, Indiana Pacers. Okay, that's Miami, Portland. Portland's keep your eye on them. Can we look at their roster for a second? They got a lot of point guards. What is going on with the Blazers? They've got an interesting team makeup here. Morant, Lillard, Kamara, okay, he's a decent player. Avdija, Clinigan, okay. Scoot Henderson, Drew Holiday, Shaden Sharp, Robert Williams III. Like, I mean, Morant, Lillard, Holiday, Henderson. What is going on there? Are they going to be making a trade or just looking to run teams literally straight out the building? I don't know what they're going to be doing there, but I could see them doing some type of package deal for someone at some point. Maybe they'll be at the trade deadline. We'll see, but that's pretty interesting if you ask me. Oklahoma City again. That'll be at home, so that'll be big. We had a nice game against them at home this past season. The Pelicans, and then you're coming down towards the end of the season here. You got your Detroit, Philly, Indiana. You're going to have to be careful there. Sacramento, Utah, Portland, Golden State, Sac again in a very close time frame. Phoenix, Detroit, and then you're closing out your season. Atlanta, Indiana, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Orlando, Brooklyn. So it's listen, it's going to be a good season. And not just for the Toronto Raptors. I'm talking about the entire NBA season. To me, there's going to be a lot of really nice matchups. And I am looking forward to this season once again. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you're looking forward to this season, if you're not looking forward to this season, what matchups you're looking forward to, who you are interested in seeing the Raptors go up against. Are you more interested in the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference, and some matchups that you are excited to see, whether it has to do with the Raptors or not? Get at me in the comments. I always respond, even if it takes 24 to 48 hours, because sometimes I don't like to just go in there, answer a couple, then come back, answer a couple. I kind of just like to answer a bunch at the same time. So get at me whenever you get the chance. At Mike Road 7 on IG at Mike Roach 23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, and share the Mike Roach Show. And if you know somebody who might like the show, don't be greedy. Share the show with them. This is your boy Mike Roach. Get at me in the comments. I'll speak to you soon. Peace. And I'm out.